What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Eric Wilson. Today, joined with my co-host, Will Cohen. It's like when you click on these videos every day, you never know who you're going to get as my co-host. Yesterday, it was Tony. The day before, it was Colin. Today, we got Will back. So
it's like a revolver.
I got a revolving
Or I
door.
guess Russian roulette, I guess.
Yeah. But today, we're here to talk about Matt Rempe, and it's also a bit of a Philip Chytil discussion. It's a subject that we've kind of danced around and talked about the last couple episodes, integrating it into other subjects about should Philip Chytil be in the second round? If he is, who are you taking out of the lineup? Either VC or Rempe. But it's about time we dedicate an entire episode around this subject, really get into the full details and give our opinions on everything, on who we think is going to be in the roster ahead of this second round series against the Carolina Hurricanes. But before we do get into all that, make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss notification. If you're watching us on Apple or Spotify, be sure to give us a 5-star review. Leave your opinions down in the comment section below. This should certainly be a spicy one. And lastly, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers. But before we really get into it, Will, how tired are you today?
You know what? I was going to say, I know what you guys are expecting, but I'm actually not tired today.
Wow.
I've had a pretty easy day today, actually. I had a test. I woke up I got to sleep in today, which usually I don't get to, but I got lunch at Panera, did some homework there, took a test, came home, did some more work, and then I've been studying for the past 3 hours now, but I'm actually very excited. I know yesterday I couldn't join the episode, so I'm obviously very excited to be back today talking about the Rangers, but I know we were talking about before this. We don't even know when the second round is going to start. I know people have said Sunday and game 2 is going to be Tuesday, but we were just talking about it as well. Like if Vegas goes to game 7, it'd be on Sunday. So when would it start? Same with the Predators and Canucks series. So I don't know when it's going to be confirmed. I know obviously both of us don't have a clue, but I just want this second round to start. I'm tired of the first round already. I just want the second round to start.
That's how I feel. I mean, that's like the silver lining that comes with the sweep. You know, we're like, we won. And then
we got to wait a week.
I was talking to my mom yesterday and she was like, what do you do now? Like that the Rangers just aren't on. I was like, I kind of just I record and then I just watch a movie and then I wait. But it is a little bit confusing because like you said, all signs are pointing towards our game 1 being this upcoming Sunday, just a few days away. Mm-hmm. But tomorrow night, if the Predators and the Golden Knights are able to force game 7s, those game 7s are also scheduled on Sunday. So I highly doubt that the NHL would have the first round and the second round going on at the same time. They would wait for one to reach a conclusive ending, then make the full schedule. So who knows? We could be in this for the long run waiting to see. But hey, man, as long as the Rangers get to keep on practicing, getting better, that's fine by me. I know I've following Twitter all day today, seeing videos and updates from practice. Adam Fox missed his second day of practice in a row for maintenance. So what I will say, though, is I'm not concerned about it. Because we know
I was going to say that too, actually.
He did take that knee-to-knee collision in game 4 that he played the rest of the game in. But
sorry, wow, Eric, mute your notifications.
You know what? That was actually Tony.
Oh, it's okay then. It's all right. Hi, Tony.
Yeah, hi, Tony. But in practice, they've had Philip Chytil skating in Fox's place on the point at the power play, which makes me think that he's going to be good for game 1. If they were prepping for him not being there for game 1,
it'd be Gustafsson or someone else. Exactly. Yeah.
So no worries there, but I heard there's some practices have been very intense. Peter Laviolette has just been
very involved in them.
Yeah, very involved. I saw one update before saying that the Rangers were practicing and like doing 5-on-5 man-to-man coverage, mimicking what Carolina does. And he was very verbal throughout that. He was like nonstop talking. So it's phenomenal to see Laviolette locked in right now. Hopefully, and we know that he will make the right decision when it comes to the roster for the second round. So let's get right into that. To me, like the big question is Matt Rempe. I'll just lay my opinion out there right now. I want to see Matt Rempe play in the second round. That is my opinion. Should he sit out for the second round? No. But here's why people have been saying that maybe he should. Reason number one is that if Filip Chytil does come back, someone has to leave the lineup for him. We can't just have an extra guy playing. The other reason is that Rempe's skill set isn't exactly what the Rangers need to face Carolina. Against Washington and like big bad Tom Wilson, we needed a big physical guy to set the tone right away. When it comes to Carolina, this is going to be a very skill-based series, speedy, fast-paced, it's a skill series, like I just said. Matt Rempe, his skill set doesn't really match that as much as Philip Chytil's does. So, looking at what would be the ideal lineup for going against a team like Carolina, I see the argument for why Philip Chytil over Matt Rempe could be the move. But Will, what's your initial thoughts on it?
See, I've been seeing obviously the same thing. I've seen a lot of people saying Chytil, but I agree with you. I don't think that Rempe's skill set is needed much for this series. I do obviously I would love Matt Rempe to play, but I think when you look at the Carolina Hurricanes, their speed and skill. That's how they kill you, is speed and skill, and obviously good defense. But and if we're thinking about it, that fits Philip Chytil's a lot more because obviously he's one of the I think last year when he was on the ice, in my opinion, he was the fastest Ranger on the team. He's our fastest skater, I guess. Sorry, he's a good skater, fast skater, obviously faster than Rempe. So his skill set would be more useful to the Rangers, obviously matching Carolina's speed. But if Chytil's not healthy, another name that's on a scratch right now, was a scratch all 4 games in the first round, Johnny Brodzinski. He's also pretty fast. I know it's not a Brodzinski episode, but I thought I'd put that out there because, obviously Chytil, we don't know if Chytil's going to be back, but Brodzinski, if Chytil's not back, Brodzinski should be inserted into the lineup just because he's obviously faster than Rempe. He, his skill set, not that it's as good as Philip Chytil's, but it would help the Rangers more to have his skill set in the lineup than Matt Rempe's, in my opinion.
So are you leaning towards yes, he should sit out for the second round?
See, I'm kind of on the fence right now because obviously we swept the Capitals, and I know it's not going to be, you're not going to sweep the Hurricanes, but I'm leaning towards maybe keep them in because you don't want to ruin, mess with the vibes of the team. Obviously, they're pretty high right now, but if you're looking at a matchup, just matchup based, you're not looking at vibes or anything. Obviously, I'd go with Brodzinski. So right now, to me, I'm pretty 50-50.
I mean, it's understandable. There's also the possibility that maybe the Rangers keep the lineup exactly how it is for games 1 and 2, and if things aren't going so hot, then maybe that's when you make the dramatic shift. But I like what you brought up about Brodzinski too, because like you said, he is a player that sat out for the first round, but again, he's not as good as Philip Chytil, but his skill set might be a better fit for the roster against a team like the Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah. The other thing I also want to bring up is that looking at just the Hurricanes and how much of a defensive and offensive unit they are, getting as much scoring help as possible is a pretty big factor here. I know me and Tony talked about special teams a little bit in yesterday's episodes. The Rangers finished the regular season 3rd best power play as well as 3rd best penalty kill. Seems kind of hard to beat, but there are the Carolina Hurricanes 2nd best power play and the 1st best penalty kill. So, I don't know how many power play goals we're going to be scoring against the best penalty kill in the league. Definitely not as much as we scored against the Capitals. Yeah. So, even strength goal scoring is going to be a huge factor in the series. The second line obviously has that down pat. Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere are the top 3-point scorers at even strength throughout the season so far. And, Matt Rempe, he scores every once in a while, but you're never going to receive consistent offensive production from him every game as much as you would get from Philip Chytil. So, I mean, I'm pretty much all of the evidence is pointing towards Rempe should sit out for the second round, other than the fact that you don't want to mess up potential chemistry. Might be a little bit rusty, but I'm still going to stick with keep him in. I love Matt Rempe, and even though his skill set isn't a perfect match for the Hurricanes, I wouldn't mind, if the Rangers are down a game in the series, seeing Matt Rempe just obliterate Jake Gensel. I wouldn't. See, that's the thing is like I know it's coming. Every time the Rangers play in a playoff series, there's always one player that just dominates the Rangers and that like makes me lose my mind. We're lucky that it didn't happen against the Capitals because the Capitals were just that bad. Like we just destroyed everyone. But looking back last year against the Devils, it was Sharon Govich. Like Jake Gensel did it a couple times back on Pittsburgh, and I have a feeling it's going to be him again. Like I'm still confident that we'll win the series, but there's a little part of me that's saying Jake Gensel is going to terrorize the Rangers once more, and Chytil can't do anything about that. Matt Rempe certainly can. So he's a momentum shifting player, and I want to see him. That's my final verdict. No, do not sit him out. Even if Chytil is healthy, maybe take out Jimmy VC.
See, I think taking out Jimmy Vesey is the wrong idea. He's very valuable in the playoffs. He had a good first round.
Well, before you explain, like, let me also add on to this just to validate my opinion. You're right that VC is a very important player. He plays a lot of key roles, but the reason why I'm okay with potentially taking him out, I don't even want to say fully, just potentially, is because what VC does, we have other players that do the same thing. Like, take all of what Jimmy VC does for the team. Barclay Goodrow does a part of it. Will Cooley does a part of it. Capo Caco does a part of it. Like, you can take out VC from the lineup, and you're still going to have other players doing what he does. Now, obviously, what he does is really good, so it doesn't hurt to just have more of it. But for a guy like Chytil, who could potentially come back and start scoring again, I don't know. I would still lean towards just keeping Chytil out and leaving the lineup how it is, but that's just my reasoning behind the potential. But
see, for me, it's Carolina has depth in their lineup, and all four of their lines can score, and the Rangers need to be able to match that. And I know, Matt Rempe scored a goal in the first game, and the fourth line had 5 points. I apologize. But I feel like I want to get as many guys in the lineup, who can score. And I know that Matt Rempe, he can change a series. He brings that energy. He's brought the energy since he's been up here since the Stadium Series. But the Hurricanes are a team that they will kill you by depth scoring, and the Rangers need to be able to match that. So that's to me, I'm leaning towards, and I do hate this. I'm sorry if this upsets anyone. I guess I'm leaning towards taking him out of the lineup.
I mean, like I said, all of the evidence and stats that we have and have gone over with, it's indicating that he should probably sit out. I'm still going to lean towards keeping him in just because I love the guy and I'm extremely biased. You definitely just increase the amount of angry comments we're going to get on this video.
Hey, that's fine, man. That's
no
fine with me.
Hard to it.
Like, obviously, I like Rempe, but this series is going to be all based on speed and being able to match that. And you know what? And I do think that the Rangers, when you play the Canes, you kind of have to be more physical. So that's why I'm kind of leaning toward, that's why I'm kind of on the middle. I really don't want to make a judgment.
You're muted.
You're
still muted.
I'm sorry about that. I think I accidentally unplugged my mic. But as I was saying, sorry. That's kind of why I'm in the middle, because I feel like if you're physical against the Canes and you knock them off their game, you're going to have an easier time, but you also want to match that speed, and I don't think that Rempe's going to be able to do that. So that's why I'm kind of in the middle, and I really don't want to have to make a final verdict. I know I did, but that's why I'm kind of in the middle, because
let Peter Laviolette make the final verdict.
Exactly. And Laviolette is saying almost every day, or I guess the last 2 days of practice, that he's not going to talk about any lineup changes. He's not going to talk about he doesn't want to answer any questions about Chytil coming into the lineup. He doesn't want to talk about that. He just wants to talk about, what's going to happen in this series and what's going on with the lineup right now in practice. So To me, I think it can go either way. I can see both sides, but if I have to give a final judgment, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, it's a pretty even debate.
Mhm.
You know, there have been many times where we've had discussions like this on the channel, and I'll go into it
Yeah.
like immediately knowing what side I'm on, and like very rarely have like I've gone
Mhm.
into it feeling one way and then
Yeah,
leaving.
this is a hard one in my opinion.
But like I'm came into this stuck in the middle. I'm
Yeah.
still stuck in the middle, but I'm just gonna let my love for Matt Rempe prevail and say that we should keep him in. But so to those that out there that believe that he should be taken out, I very much understand your side.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a tough debate. This is definitely a spicy one. The
Mhm.
comments will probably be just as divided as we are.
Mhm.
So be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment. I would love to hear everyone's opinion, see where we're all leaning at in this discussion. But until next time, make sure you guys like, subscribe, or ring that bell to miss notification. If you're watching us on Apple or Spotify, be sure to give us a 5-star review. Once again, I want to read those comments later, so please comment. Lastly, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers on Instagram, X, and TikTok. We've been absolutely cooking over there. A lot of short form videos.
I need to follow the TikTok account.
The TikTok account goes hard, and a lot of news, updates, rumors, all the good stuff over there. So if you haven't been following us over there, what are you doing, man? We're definitely amping it up. So that's why I'm giving this little extra promotion for it. But once again, thank you to everyone for tuning in.
I am following the Fireside Rangers TikTok account. I didn't realize I was. I apologize. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you. Eric.
Loyal supporter right there. Once again, thank you to everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Rangers content. Have a good one, and let's go
Rangers.